Hi, sixth graders. I'm gonna just do a little review for the quiz you have up. It'll be on, that you have this week. It's gonna be on quizzes, so click the link that's on the remote learning page, and it's got the code and everything on there for you, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of go over everything that's gonna be on there. So I'm gonna start with inequalities, okay? So this is all the stuff you need to know for it. Before I forget, put your first and last name on the quizzes. You can't put in a nickname or anything because I'm not going to know who you are and it's going to count for a grade, okay? All right, so inequalities means that those are your less than or equal to, so it could be less than or equal to. It's got a little bit of both. You've got greater than, and greater than or equal to, okay? Okay, so the difference between the less than and the less than or equal to is if it includes the point or not. So, in other words, if I say I have less than $5, I would graph it like this. So if I say I have less than $5, okay, on a number line, I would graph if this is 5, 6, 4, okay? I would have an open circle. That means it didn't include. Less than's going to be an open circle, okay? So this is always an open circle. Okay, that means it didn't include the point, but it includes everything. And this would only go to 0 because I can only have $0. I guess I could owe money, okay? So it would just really go to 0. But if I graphed that, if I said I have less than $5, that means I don't have $5. I might have $4.99, but I don't have $5, okay? If I said I have, how could I say this that I wanted to work out? I was going to say $5 or less, but that's kind of obvious. If I have, if I say I have no more than $5, okay? I don't know why I put a dollar sign there. That means I might have $5. I might have less than $5, but I don't have any more than $5. So that would be graphed with a closed circle. That means I might have that amount, or I'm going to have everything less than that, okay? And again, that would go to 0. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Sorry. Okay, so this would have a closed circle because it includes a point, okay? So same thing for greater than. Greater than would have an open circle. When you graph it, okay, that means it doesn't include the point. And greater than or equal to would have a closed circle. Okay, so those are how you would tell if you have an open circle or a closed circle on an inequality. All right, and you graph them on a number line, and that's all you do. You shade it to the right if it's less, or right if it's greater than. You shade it to the left if it's less than. You color in the point if it could be equal to. Okay. All right, so those are our inequalities. Let's go on to our coordinate grids, coordinate graphs. Okay, so when I was going through the homework, a lot of you are still struggling with interval, okay? So if I talk about an interval, that's what you count by on the graph, okay? So we were struggling with this, okay, on the homework. So in other words, if I had this and I say this is 10, 20, 30, negative 10, negative 20, negative 30, 10, 20, okay? Negative 10, negative 20. My interval would be 10. That means every time I change, it changes by 10, okay? I can go by ones, I can go by twos, I can go by fives, but in this case, I would go by tens. So anything in here is gonna go by tens. It doesn't mean I start at 10, it just means that every little mark on my graph is 10. So that's what an interval is, okay? Your coordinates are your x first, y second. So when you're graphing a point, and again, when I was going over the homework from last week, a lot of you were doing yx, okay? You gotta go to the elevator before you can go up and down, okay? So if I think about it like that, I've gotta graph the x first, the y second. So let's say on this graph I did up here, I wanted to graph the point 20, negative 10. That means I'm gonna go over 20 and then I'm gonna go down 10. So my point would be here. Some of you were doing it backwards where you were going 20 and then you did negative 10. So you can see where the point's gonna be in a totally different spot. Okay, so when I talk about coordinates, I mean your x first, your y second, and then you graph it, okay? Now your quadrants, I'm gonna do a different graph, so I'm gonna turn this paper over, okay? So your quadrants are this. If this is my graph, it doesn't even matter what it's numbered by. Here's that's called your origin. That is your point 0, 0, okay? Little arrows, because they always have arrows. Okay, there's a couple things you need to know on a graph. This is your x-axis. Okay. This is your y-axis. If I asked you where a point, if I put this point here and I said, where is that point or what quadrant or where is that point located? If I didn't have any numbers, you would just tell me it's located on the x-axis. It is not in a quadrant. In order to be in a quadrant, it has to fit into one of these 4 boxes. This doesn't, it's on the line, okay? If I gave you a point here and said, where is that located? You would tell me that's located on the y-axis, okay? That's always when y is 0. And this is when, this is when x is 0, it'll be on the y-axis. When your y is 0, it'll always be on the x-axis, okay? So this is quadrant 1, remember we use Roman numerals. This is quadrant 2, it goes like a C. Quadrant 3, quadrant 4, okay? Think coordinate, it makes a C, literally makes a C. Okay, in quadrant 1, your x is always positive and your y is always positive because you have to go to the right and up. In quadrant 2, your x is always negative because you have to go to the left and you have to go up, so your y is going to be positive. In quadrant 3, you always have to go left and down to get into quadrant 3, so your x is negative, your y is negative. Like a sleeping person. And in quadrant 4, you have to go to the right and then down. So your x is always positive and your y is always negative. So if I give you a point and I say like the point negative 3, 2, and I say what quadrant is that in, where is x negative and y positive? It would be quadrant 2, okay? So that's how I know what quadrant it is. Okay, I could always graph the point too and then see what quadrant it ended up in. Just know that it always starts where it's a positive and it makes a C. Okay, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 counterclockwise. Okay, so that's your coordinates. The only other thing I think that's on this quiz, actually that I know that's on this quiz, is ordering integers with absolute value. Okay, so absolute value, remember, key word to remember with absolute value is distance. Distance from 0. It's asking you how far is it from 0. So if I'm on a number line, okay, and I have the point -1, -2, 1, 2. If I said the absolute value of -2, I'm saying how far from 0 is -2. Okay, that's what I would ask myself in my head. It's 2 places from 0. I can't go a negative distance. Okay, I can't go backwards. Okay, here I have a little lizard. My daughter made one of those ceramic classes. Okay, he can go backwards, but he's still going a distance. He can go forward. He's still going a distance. It's pretty cute, huh? She made that. But you can go backwards towards a negative direction. You're still going a positive distance, okay? I'm still moving space. So it's saying how far from 0 is it? So if I wanted the absolute value of -2, I'd say it's 2 places from 0. If I want the absolute value of +2, how many places from 0 is it? It's still 2 places from 0, okay? So both of them are 2. So that's how, if you think absolute value, if you ask yourself distance from 0, it'll always make sense. So there's going to be some problems where you have to put them in order from least to greatest. Just remember, if I give you an absolute value problem, don't think that's a -2, that's actually +2. So it would go where a +2 would go if you're putting it from least to greatest, okay? So just be very careful. The things again, that I've noticed that some people are struggling with is make sure you graph your X first, right or left, before you go up or down, okay? Not backwards. So graph your X first, your Y second. And then the other thing is interval. Interval just means what you jump by, okay? So what did I count by? Did I count by 1s? Did I count by 2s? Did I go 2, 4, 6, 8? Did I go 3, 6, 9, 12? Then my interval is 3. It's what I counted by. All right, good luck on the test. I'm assuming you guys will all do fabulous because it's not that bad. You may take it more than once if you don't do as much as you look. I'm going to look at how many times you take it, obviously, but you can take it more than once. So do that to get a good grade and have a fabulous week.